Welcome back, Christmas movie fans. That's right, I don't want to hear anything about being too early to celebrate or watch Christmas movies, just like I don't want to hear you say you're one of the weird ones that hasn't subscribed yet. But without getting off topic, Spirited is a brand new Christmas-themed musical dropping on Apple TV Plus this Friday, where we follow the ghost of Christmas Present, who each Christmas Eve chooses one dark soul to be reformed by the visit of three spirits. But this season, he chose the wrong Scrooge. Clint Briggs turns the tables on his ghostly host until Present finds himself re-examining his own past, present, and future, in what clearly is a brand new interpretation on Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Perhaps the greatest Christmas story ever told, and with good reason. There's enough reinvention in here that made it feel real, fresh, and brand new, where now the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future, there's an entire organization where through the year they get to examine and research the person they're going to try and reform on every Christmas Eve. There's an entire institution, an industry behind how this works, and I think that's a really fun idea, and the film explores that in really interesting ways. It is also cleverly self-aware in ways that I did not expect. This knows that it's not the first version of A Christmas Carol to come out. This knows that A Christmas Carol exists. This knows that Christmas musicals are a thing, and they have their cliches and they have their tropes, and it plays to the strength of those tropes, of the formula. The formula exists for a reason, and this film kind of celebrates it while at the same time is making fun of all that comes with it. But at its core, it's still an infectiously charming Christmas film. Even beyond being a musical, the performances are wonderfully tongue-in-cheek with the right amount of cheesiness without being overbearing. They always keep the charm and charisma first, and then you bring in Ryan Reynolds, who's this absolute cynic that contrasts beautifully that joyous optimism that Will Ferrell carries so well, that is so familiar in this film from Elf, another Christmas classic, and I'm sure this one is kind of bound to become that as well. The two of them are just infectious together. They contrast one another beautifully in their worldview, in their experience, in how they look at the reforming of souls, at the story of A Christmas Carol, how they see one another, and really how they see themselves. There's enough compelling elements, there's enough emotional backstory to each of them to flesh them out, which is surprising, but it's really the comedy that comes from both of them. It's really the contrast in the two characters that really makes this worth a watch. And on top of that, you have these wonderful musical numbers that are lively, they are high energy. You cannot help but tap your foot while seeing these unfold on screen. The choreography is sensational. They're really funny as well. The film doesn't just stop being funny and poking jabs at itself and at its characters in the musicals. It keeps on with that comedy, and there are a lot of numbers. For some people, there may even be too many musical numbers. I think there are like 10 in this entire film, if not more, which really surprised me. The musical numbers are just when this film really picks up steam, but sometimes it kind of loses that steam in between. This is a Christmas kind of buddy comedy that runs at 2 hours and 7 minutes. It's way too long. It does not justify that runtime, and in between those musical numbers, it loses steam. A big part of that for me is because at one point the film takes a swing that I don't think entirely pays off. I just wish the film separated itself a little bit more from the original tale, diving more into this mythology where there's an entire hierarchy of power. There's all these legalities and bureaucracies when it comes to choosing a soul, and everyone has a job to do. And that's the thing. It's a job, it's a company, and I wanted more of it. I wanted more of how this brand new take works. So when it's creatively fleshing out the elements that are unique to this version of the story, it really works because it never loses that sense of magic. But when it tries to be too faithful to the original Charles Dickens work, it can feel overstuffed because it adds so many subplots, which then increase the runtime that never feels justified or earned. It's just too much going on instead of focusing on the right elements. That being said, there are actual stakes in this one that really surprised me. There's groundedness to the story being told here. There's this sort of existential dread permeating through the lives of Clint Briggs, played by Ryan Reynolds, and Will Ferrell, who plays the ghost of Christmas Present. It's not just jab against one another and they're a really fun comedic pair. There's actually something interesting going on in how their characters develop because they are brought into one another's lives. And that was interesting. But there is quite a few missteps along the way to get to an ending that really genuinely works and puts a smile on your face. It celebrates the Christmas spirit. But before I dive into my final thoughts on Spirited, I need you to start the conversation about this hopeful to be Christmas classic in the comments below. What is your favorite song from it? And what is your favorite Christmas movie that you go back to every year? And if you're enjoying this review, you're going to enjoy so much more of what I have to offer on the channel. You can find more reviews right up here. Or if you just love movies and TV, this is the place to be. So consider clicking that subscribe button and you won't miss any future conversations on your favorite movies and TV. Spirited offers enough welcome reinvention on the classic formula without losing its timeless magic. With a ton of heart and jolly spirit, lively, electrifying musical numbers, and the charm of Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, it successfully plays to its strengths despite an overtly runtime that often loses some steam. I'm giving Spirited a B-. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you're going to add this to your family holiday movie watches this year. Big thanks to my channel members for always supporting the channel, and I'll be back very soon with more videos. So until the next one, love each other and love the movies.